Hey, Josiah here. So, I just got back from running. I just went for a run. It was really great. It was exciting. I ran 4 miles, and I tried a little something different with my music this time. In lieu of my normal playlists, which I normally listen to, for today I decided to just set up a crazy little playlist of just 2 songs. And I would just run these 2 songs over and over, back to back, on repeat. One after the other, for the whole 4 miles. And the 2 songs I chose, they really complement each other well. And I'm gonna put links to videos for these songs in the description so that you can enjoy them as well, and maybe try them for your own running playlist. But the 2 songs were Super Beast by Rob Zombie and Happy Feet by Jack Hilton. Jack Hilton, it was a English big band leader from back in around the Roaring 20s or whatever. So this song is from 1930, but this is kind of a little bit of an up-tempo modern mix of it with a little bit of a beat, but still it's a little different in tone from Rob Zombie. So we just went back and forth between those 2 songs, and it turned out to be pretty great. I had a good run, so that was exciting. And I came home and I got this email from my buddy, from a friend of mine. Okay, one thing I'm going to get clear right now so everybody understands. There will never be product placement in my videos. Not ever. Never will I do product placement. I just happen to have a headache right now, and I'm just rubbing my temple with this bottle, this empty bottle, which could have had anything in it. It's empty because I just drank the whole contents because they were so delicious and refreshing. I got back from my run and I was dehydrated, of course. And you know that when you sweat, you lose electrolytes, which help the cells of your body regulate the fluid. And the typical electrolytes are sodium, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. And this particular beverage, which was in this bottle, which I'm not going to name because I'm not a shill for any products, okay? This particular beverage, unnamed, has all 4 electrolytes in it. Yeah, I thought it was just some food coloring and some artificial sweetener and some water, and maybe they threw a little salt in there for the kicks, but no, all 4. And not only does it have all 4 electrolytes in it, it has, quote, an advanced electrolyte system. Yes, an advanced electrolyte system, which I'm assuming means that basically inside this bottle were millions of nanites, nanotech, little tiny microscopic robots that were custom assembling the molecules of the different electrolytes for my body and delivered them through my bloodstream to exactly the cells that needed them, and set up little factories creating just the right electrolyte balances in my body, which, considering all that is in there, the fact that I can get these for only 84 cents for 32 ounces of nanites, and they're all of the power that you would normally expect. I'm not going to name the product, of course, because, that's not the kind of channel I run here. I do not endorse any particular products here. I'm not going to name anything, but I'm just saying this had a lot of power, but it had 0 evil. No evil whatsoever. I think they have exorcists check these before they leave the factory. Also, in case you're worried about, there's a bunch of chemicals in there and a bunch of, artificial bad stuff. No, it's all organic. It's locally sourced. This is from the local Powerade farm outside of Reno, so you probably didn't know we had one of those, but it pays to keep up on these things. But anyway, no product endorsements. There will never be product placement in my videos. I want to make sure that's clear. So I got this email from my friend, and I don't have it up on my screen because I'm super well prepared for this video. Alright, so here we go. So before I went on my little run, I posted this status update on Facebook, which I guess I can make a link to also. And it caused a couple people to get a little concerned because it mentioned, I don't know, suicide and stuff. But I got this email from this guy. He's a friend of mine. He's a good friend. I used to live with him. And it was a great email, and when I read it, I was pretty impressed by what he wrote. So I just figured, without permission, of course, I haven't consulted with him, I'm just going to read his email aloud to the entire internets. And by the entire internets, of course, I mean about the 10 people who will ever watch this video. But I'm just going to read his email aloud. But I'm not going to name names. So there you go. Anonymity preserved. Don't worry, Tim. Nobody's going to know it was you. So he writes, I debated on sending this at all for reasons that may become obvious as it progresses. For the second time in as many months, your heartfelt writing has fundamentally changed the way I think about a big topic. I've turned the corner on suicide. I never understood the concept of suicide, on any level, biologically, psychologically, spiritually. There seem to be huge disincentives to taking one's own life. It has never crossed my mind in anything even resembling a serious fashion. And so it was easy for me to fall into the trap of judging it harshly. I became the typical life tyrant you wrote about. I'm pretty proud of that, by the way. I just came up with life tyrant on the fly when I was writing that status update, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to start using it all the time. But I'll go on. He writes, every epithet you mentioned, and many more, did I hurl in the direction of any notion of suicide. And today, as I read what you wrote, I experienced a new perspective on what I was doing. I took a step back and thought about it from a more general frame of mind. I was encountered with something I did not understand, and my reaction to it was to get angry. How fucking Neanderthalic, totally a word, fuck you Google, is that? Question mark, exclamation point. You know he's not fucking around now. I abhor people that do that. It is an unacceptable way of going through life. So why did I have this blind spot for it myself? Well, it's basically because I'm generally enjoying my life and I'm selfish. There are things that I'm doing now that I love. There are plans I've made for the future, things that I want to do, and specific goals I've set for myself that make me excited and happy to be where I'm at. My pitfalls are few and generally not severe. I'm in a really good place. Then I try to imagine the opposite. The idea that I had no hope for the future, took no joy in the things I did, was basically only capable of feeling pain, and didn't care what came next. I'm not saying that's where you're at, but I think it is where most people get when they decide to end the show early. I feel so ashamed to feel anything but compassion for someone in that situation. And when I say I'm selfish, I mean that I stay in touch with people that add things to my life. And they're things that I don't want to end. Somebody takes something away from me, I was going to get angry with them. It's an entirely self-involved thought, without care for what the other person is going through. No one that I personally know has more influenced my thinking as an adult than have you. Jimmy got to me, sure, but we are all alike in so many ways that we couldn't bring about understanding through different perspectives like you could for me. I really value that. It's important to me, and I don't want to see it stop. But if it does, I know now that I won't be angry. I'll be sad. I'll feel true grief for probably the first time ever. I'll mourn the loss of a friend and teacher, try to remember the good times and all the laughs. I'll shout, "This is blackmail!" at the top of my lungs, confusing fellow residents of my apartment complex, and then start making awkward phone calls to area aquariums. A couple inside jokes there. Basically, I want to be fed to sharks when I'm dead, which is probably going to be difficult, but, it's my wishes. But I'm leaving behind this being a life tyrant. I feel like there should be a TM after that. Can I trademark that? Suicide is cowardly, hateful, selfish, and wrong for me. For me. I'm done judging people in pain. I love you, bud. I value having known you, and I hope I have the privilege of it for decades to come. As much as my instinct is to make this an email all about, "I'm here for you, man," I resist, because I hope you already know that. And I know everyone else is probably doing it. Not really. Instead, I'm just going to say thank you. Signed, I won't name names. I'm going to preserve your secret, Tim. Okay, so, yeah, that's it. I read the email to you in my own meandering, butchering sort of way, and I did not endorse any products, which I'm proud of. and I told you about my little running playlist. That's really, that was the goals of this video, so I'm done. Anyway, yeah, so I'll talk to you soon. This has been Josiah. Rambles, or something. Recording, right? And I'm just like, doot, 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 doot. Okay, so now I'm just like, I debated on sending this at all for reasons that may become obvious as it progresses. For the second time in as many months, your heartfelt writing has fundamentally changed the way I think about a big topic. I've turned the corner on suicide. I never understood the concept of suicide. David Blaine Street. And the two songs back to back, I'm going to have links to them in the description of the show here so that you can enjoy them yourself. But the two songs are Super Beast by Rob Zombie and Happy Feet by by a guy named, fuck, what's his name? Hold on, let me just check the internets. Checking the internets. I'm gonna have to edit this shit out. This is no good. Jack Hilton. Yeah. I didn't care what came next. I think I just fucked this up. Was basically only capable of feeling pain